I would wear my natural hair to any formal event, to any work setting, and in any form. How our hair grows out of our head is beautiful, is perfect, is how it was meant to be. An association between relaxers and fibroids and relaxers and endometrial cancers as well, I believe. MJ down, stay. Let's see if that lasts. Okay, today I'm going to be filming a video all about my natural hair journey, and I specifically wanted to discuss the progress I've made in 6 months of growing my hair. There we go. So, hello, my name is Ikuna, and this is my YouTube channel. As a busy person, I'm an OBGYN resident. I have a more demanding job. I was very intimidated going natural because so many people told me it'd be so much work, and I just simply didn't think I would have the bandwidth for that. But it's been surprisingly not only a beautiful journey, but also a relatively easy one. And I'm very lucky to be in the position I am where I'm very comfortable with where I'm at with my career, where I'm at in terms of just my self-confidence. I'm in a place where I, really had the time and the money. It does take some money up front to invest in learning about my hair, trying products that work for me. So I've been growing my hair for the last 6 months, and I feel like there was also a big lack of videos like this when I cut my hair, and I really wanted to see what I could expect for 6 months. So I had realistic expectations. And so I'm hoping I can be helpful in that regard. I grew up with relaxed hair for as long as I can remember, really, like being a child. I had relaxed hair, and I would still do a lot of different styles. We would do twists and we would do braids, and my mom would always do my hair at home, which I really appreciated. I feel like my hair was always in a really, good state, and I knew that hair care was important, and I did, you know, appreciate that. I would say that I certainly had some insecurity about, my hair. Just, I think it's a common thing for little black girls. You look on TV and these girls have this like flowing hair, and like kids in your class have hair that's, the traditional hair. And so it's not, you don't, as a kid, if you don't feel like what you have is celebrated, it's obviously very easy to just want what other people have and to want your hair to do things that it's just not going to do. So I had relaxed hair. And I remember in middle school when people started to go natural. So I remember I was big into YouTube. So there were a lot of YouTubers who posted about going natural and shared their journey. And I was just not in a place where I was ready to do that. I was young. I was in high school. I had a lot of insecurities. I just thought that, relaxed hair is for me. And then as I got older, even then, I still didn't want to try going natural because I was building myself as a professional, and I wanted to go to medical school. I wanted to do OBGYN, and I just didn't want something like my hair to be what would have people have a certain impression of me. And I think a lot of that was also in my own head, but I was playing it safe, and I didn't want to make a huge change with my hair as I was, in this really big building phase where I needed to network, and how you present yourself is so important. And I wanted to be confident in that. But at some point during my residency, I just decided that I was ready, that I felt comfortable with where I was at from a career perspective. I felt safe and confident to try something new with my hair. And I'm really lucky and happy that I felt that way. And so in October 2023, I decided to no longer get relaxers. So for those that don't know what a relaxer is, it's basically when you chemically straighten your hair. And so I had chemically straightened hair for my whole life, and I've never dealt with my natural curls, what you're seeing right now. This is the first time in my life where I can remember dealing with my natural texture fully on my whole head. So it's been a big, big shift, and it it just took a point where I was like, you know what, I think I'm done. And I decided I was getting my last relaxer. And then I stretched my hair over a year. So I did a lot of braids, which was fun. Yeah, I feel like I just made the transition fun. I knew I was going to transition for at least a year and then see how I felt about it. Braids were my best friend. That being said, I definitely didn't take care of my hair in braids as well as I could have. But honestly, I knew I was probably going to have to cut a lot of hair off because my hair was quite prone to breakage whenever I stretched it. So I figured that I was going to probably be starting from a pretty short place. And so when I got my hair cut in November 2024, or no, November, yeah, it was November 6th, 2024. I cut my relaxed hair off, and I was at a point where, yeah, doing wash days with my stretched hair was just really, really challenging and really not fun. And I was ready to just be dealing with one texture, because dealing with two textures, just the tangling process was, pretty tough. But also during that year, I did a lot of research. And that would probably be one of my top tips. Do your research. Obviously, you can only know so much about your hair when you're stretching it. I didn't fully know the porosity. I didn't fully know what texture it actually was, because when you have your relaxed ends, kind of weighing your texture down, so it's hard to see. So I kind of just learned about low porosity and high porosity hair. I learned mostly about type 4 hair and 4C hair, because I figure that, if I had 4C hair, if my hair was mostly 4C, I'd want to know how to take care of 4C hair. And the principles are pretty similar across types, but I would say 4C hair had the most, information about just detangling and considerations like that. And I just wanted to know, if I'm dealing with areas of my hair that are the coarsest, I want to know how to manage that. So there's so much out there on YouTube, and TikTok and Instagram. There's shout outs to so many Black women doing such good work on here, teaching us how to do our hair. And I think that's part of why I want to contribute to this body of work, is because I found it so helpful. So I did lots of research, and I knew what products I wanted to try, but it definitely was a lot of trial and error. I think I learned so much in the first month, 2 months. And that's because the next, top tip that I have would be dedicating yourself to a weekly wash day. I would say the maximum I'll go without washing my hair is 10 days. So yeah, somewhere between 7 to 10 days is my sweet spot. And as a busy person, I'd say a tip is just, you don't have to have a specific day every week that you do it every week. It doesn't have to be Sunday wash day. I'll do Tuesday one week. The next week I'll do Friday. Next week I'll do Wednesday. The next week I'll do Saturday. I'll just kind of switch it up. And it ends up being, around somewhere between 7 to 10 days. And I set my schedule for the week, and I pick a time that makes the most sense. And that's with a puppy as well. I do have a very supportive partner who helps with so many things in my life, like cooking and grocery shopping and taking care of our dog and, doing tons of stuff. So I'm very lucky in that regard. I'd say that definitely makes my life easier. And I think that is a beautiful part of partnership. But I also think that I definitely could have swung this when I was in med school, if I was in a mental position where I was ready to try it. So the first thing I tried was a lot of wash and goes, and I tried a few products until I eventually found the things that I liked that I'll share in this video. And then as my hair got long enough that I could actually do braids, even really, really short braids, I did braid outs on even my really short hair. And I loved the way it turned out on my short hair. It was always really, really nice. And I would say, yeah, try different styles as early as you can. Try the braid outs, the twist outs, try the flexi rods, the bantu knots, whatever you want to do. Try stretching your hair, just experiment with it. Obviously, protect your hair and you don't want to manipulate it too much, but don't be afraid to try these cool styles, because our natural hair is a great base for a lot of these really cool styles. Now going into my hair routine, the base of it is always the same. So I wash my hair every 7 to 10 days. I always pre-poo my hair, and I have a few different pre-poos that I like. I really like, I think it's the African Pride. It's kind of, or the African Moisture. I'll put it here. I really like this one. It's very, very effective, very, very good at detangling your hair. And whenever I'm detangling, I'm dousing my hair with water. So I have low porosity type 4 hair. So yeah, I'm dousing my hair with water, and then I use the product to detangle, and it works really well. That's it. That's what I would say is kind of like one of my mid-tier options. Another option I love is flaxseed gel, and that's super cheap. You can make it at home, but sometimes I'm just not in the mood to be making stuff and storing stuff in my fridge and all that. But that's a great option. I always have flax seeds around just in case, so that if I run out of product and I forget and I don't have something, I can always make flaxseed gel. I also really love the Garnier papaya hair food. Melon and Mishi recommended that, and that stuff is super, super good at detangling, and is a nice moisturizing product for your hair. And if I'm really feeling like I want a really, really good reconstructive day or really want my hair to, be feel fortified, I'll use the Olaplex #3, and I'll use that probably once every 2 to 3 weeks. So I use it relatively frequently, and my hair is usually not very tangled because I wash it every 7 to 10 days. It doesn't get super tangled. I'm not messing with it all the time. I find the Olaplex has enough slip for me to detangle with that as well. After I do my pre-poo, I shampoo, and I use either the Garnier Curls Nourish shampoo or I use the Cecred shampoos. So every other week I'll use the clarifying scalp scrub, and every week usually I will use the hydrating cleanser. And I love those shampoos, and I definitely think shampoo is so, so, so important. Your scalp health is so important if you want your hair to grow. It starts from the soil, and the soil is the scalp. And so shampooing your scalp, keeping your scalp super clean is going to be integral. After I wash my hair, I will deep condition. I deep condition every wash day, and usually my deep conditioner is the Thank God It's Natural Honey Miracle Mask. That is my favorite. That's the one I use. I've tried a few different ones that I did like. I do like the Design Essentials Rosemary, and it's like a tingling conditioner. That one feels really good. I like the Garnier Papaya Hair Food as a deep conditioner. That's another good option. But overall, I would say my favorite, the one I think works the best on my hair, is the TGIN. And so I found what works and I'm just sticking with it. I always deep condition with a hooded dryer. I also typically pre-poo with a hooded dryer, and the hooded dryer has changed the game. I definitely think it's worth getting if you're a busy person, because I can type and do work, or I can read, or I can journal, or whatever I want while my hair is drying, which makes me feel like I'm getting a lot of my time back. And also, my hair takes a long time to dry with a dryer. And so my arms were just getting exhausted, and it just helped me so much to enjoy my wash day because I wasn't using so much energy working out to dry my hair. So I definitely think that was a game changer for me. Then I rinse the deep conditioner out, going on to the styling. So if I'm doing a wash and go, I'll use a leave-in conditioner, and my favorite is the Design Essentials leave-in conditioner, but I also do like the Cecred Moisture Seal. Those are probably my two kind of products I like to use the most. I've also used the Not Today leave-in, and that one's pretty good as well, but I just like the other two a bit more. And then if I'm doing a wash and go, I will typically use the Dew Mousse. I love it. It's great for wash and goes, and I'll just work that in section by section, again using lots of water. Or I'll do a braid out, and when I do a braid out, I will stretch my hair, and I do have a Rev Air. I did spend a lot of money on a Rev Air. That I would say is not essential for sure. You don't need to stretch your hair. You can use a blow dryer to stretch your hair after your hair is dry or before. I just wanted my hair to have as little heat damage as possible. And so I did all my research, and this option felt like it was the best. And so far, I'm really, really, really happy with it. I really like it. And I think it's going to be something I use for years. You don't need to stretch your braid outs. You can just braid your hair when it's wet and let it dry under the dryer, or just dry overnight, or dry with a blow dryer and then go to bed. Just making sure to use a heat protection if you are putting any kind of direct heat. I use it with a Rev Air, but I would definitely use it with a blow dryer. Maybe do it less frequently if you're using a real hair dryer that's not designed to reduce heat damage. Like, I think Dysons are quite good for that as well, but I went with the Rev Air. And when I do a braid out, I will use the Twist and Define cream from TGIN. That stuff is so, so good. And that's the biggest thing with natural hair also, is just stick to the routine. If it works, stick to it. If it's not broken, you don't need to fix it. Just stick with that routine. You don't need to try a million products. I think at first, try lots of things. I tried plenty of things that I didn't end up liking, but now I've found the things that I do like. And occasionally I'll try new things. Like, I'm definitely going to try the Dew B-Girl gel. I'm really excited to try that soon, but I don't try a ton of new things. And then in terms of preserving it, so I'll unbraid my hair with jojoba oil, and also I use jojoba oil to seal in moisture at the end of my braid outs especially, but I'll use jojoba oil to unbraid or fluff it out. And then throughout the week for braid outs, I typically will rebraid the front and then do a banding method all around of the back. With wash and goes, I just do banding method and use a bonnet, and then in the morning I just unband it and go. And then by the end of the week towards wash day, I'll do puffs if I want to style it, or I'll just wear it out still. And I think the biggest thing is just not trying to force your hair to be something that it's not. I don't really mind if my hair gets less defined throughout the week. I don't mind if it starts to look frizzy. I don't mind if it starts to shrink and look shorter. I just let it be how it's going to be throughout the week, and I'm happy with it, and I feel confident and happy. And I feel like at first I definitely was struggling. I was like, "Oh my god, my hair is so short. I'm not used to this." But I also was like, this is kind of freeing. In terms of my last couple tips, I would say trimming every 3 months seems to be really good. I did have a trim 3 months ago, and I'm due for a trim this week, and I'm very excited about it. And I think it really helped to refresh my hair after my big chop, and my styles look so much better after my trim, and it just helps your split ends not travel up your hair shaft. I personally choose to get my hair trimmed in a straight state with a silk press and then just trim it like that. But I just think it's easier for my hair because my hair is kind of different textures all around, and it's always going to look a bit different. And so if I get a curly cut, sometimes I feel like it'll look good, other times it'll look kind of crazy. So I just cut my hair in a straight state for now. If that changes, we'll see. But lastly, I would say, focus on your internal health, eating well, and honestly that could even just mean eating less takeout. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to change everything about yourself, but just having one less takeout meal a week, or trying to cook a certain number of days a week. And same thing with movement. I think finding movement you like really helps your whole body be healthy and helps your hair grow if your body is in a good, healthy state. But that can just mean walking. You can just go on walks more, try to hit 8,000 steps a day or 10,000 steps a day, rather than say, I'm going to work out every single day or 5 days a week if you don't do much right now. So that's basically everything. And so to conclude, I would say I love my hair. I love my afro. I think it's appropriate in any space, in any setting, with any job. It's my hair. Like, it's crazy to me that this has this is something that even to this day, I think people feel a bit unpresentable with their natural hair. Not even a bit. There are definitely people who feel unpresentable with their natural hair. But I would wear my natural hair to any formal event, to any work setting, and in any form, a full afro, a puff, little mini braids if I felt like it, because it's my hair, and that's what helps it thrive. And who we are naturally, how our hair grows out of our head, is beautiful, is perfect, is how it was meant to be. I don't regret the years I had with relaxed hair. I think that, I don't regret it, but I will say that I'm glad that I have my natural hair now, and I love the way that it looks. To add this to the beginning, there's been data that's demonstrated an association between relaxers and fibroids, and relaxers and endometrial cancers as well, I believe. And that was a huge wake up call for me. And I still, I think that if I changed or transitioned my hair when I was in a really stressed period of my life or wasn't ready, I think that stress is also not good for our health. Just knowing that that was not necessarily good for my health was a big factor for me, and just something I also want to potentially shed light on in the future in my career. It's professional enough for work. It's perfect. It's everything. I have nothing to be ashamed of. And these are some of the affirmations that I have for myself now that I didn't have before. Probably the most helpful person I've watched is Melanin Mishi. I love her videos. She has taught me basically everything that I know, as well as Shayon Okimi. Oh my God. Her videos are insane. So, so good. So scientifically backed. They're incredible. So those are my two favorites if you're looking for recommendations for people to watch about natural hair. That's all. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Bye.